Howdy, Anthony Dodge, Model Train Outsider, episode 4 for series 2. And last week I dropped a video showing how I built the Delmenhorst station and how it was scratch built, 187 scale, true, accurate, 100% accurate to the actual Delmenhorst station, all the shops, the walls, everything, inside and out, 100% accurate, except for platform 2-3, which is about half the size it really is, but the used part is probably accurate to length. But otherwise I would have needed an 18-foot long table to fit that one platform in, and that wasn't happening. So anyhow, I thought I'd try to do a quick video on just a quick explanation of how I did the bus station, which is right in front of the city of Delmenhorst train station. And so when I finished the station, I took a few weeks off, but I knew in a way time was running out with my hand condition, and if I was going to custom build the bus station, I needed to get to work on it. And so the best thing in the world is I think we had some weather days where we had like a week off of school, and I did this all in a week. I didn't film it. I wasn't planning on doing it on YouTube because I had just started my YouTube channel, and I had already said I was never going to build on camera because I can't focus on what I'm doing if I'm worried about the camera. The station was built before I started the YouTube channel, or most of it was built. The bus station was built right after I started doing my YouTube channel. So there's still, I didn't photograph any of it in progress because literally I spent, I think, easy 8 to 10 hours a day over a 4-day period building this, where I just kept going and going. I looked at what parts I needed. I went and got them the week before, found a couple of kits to bash, and yes, the bus station, the bus center, is kit bashed. It is not a scratch build. It is a kit bash. I used parts from a dozen different model buildings. I bought some Walters kits and got the post from a electrical plant or something like that. I got some, well, the canopy, the roof over the bus station is from an ICE3 platform kit, a train station platform kit from Fowler, but I modified it. And then the stuff that was scratch built was the seating areas and some of the other stuff, plus the surprise I'll share with you if you've never seen it in operation. So let me just go through some pictures. So again, what I'm going to do is show you the station I based it on, and then I'm going to show you the finished product because I never took any pictures of it progress. I literally was building it, went to bed, got up the next morning, went right back to work on it, built it. I had the plans, I did the measurements ahead of time, and then I just built. So let me show you what I got, and hopefully you'll enjoy some of it, but you won't really see much of the progress. You'll just see the reality and then how I interpreted it. So again, here's a map of Germany, northwestern Germany right here, near the city of Bremen, my little town of Delmenhorst. That's what I'm modeling, and basically I'm modeling Delmenhorst to Bremen, which is just a flat, straight 9-mile train section, because that's the area in Germany I know and love. So that's that. All right, so here is the station, and once again I used Google Earth to get measurements. Their tape measure program is amazing. It's a great thing to use when you want to get these measurements. It's accurate to within inches at full scale, which means it's, when you cut it down to 1/87th, it's great. You'll notice that there are 6 depots, 6 bus stops on each side. You see this little rounded end here. This was important because I was able to get the straight across measurements right here to tell me how far across it is, as well as how long it is, and divide that all by 87. So once I did that, actually that was the last thing I did. When I was in Delmenhorst in 2017 and 2018, Joyce and I took a bunch of pictures. So here you can see this winged shape W canopy with this venting, this metal system of bracketing, which is light diffusers. And this is not glass. This is a poly carbonate, very thick plastic coating or sheeting. It is not glass. And then you can also see the curved bank lighting here, 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 and here. And these two things, the angular shape and the lighting system, will be two controversial issues I'll talk about in a minute. So the other thing I had to do was right here in these pictures. I got the measurements for the seating areas here. I got pictures of the signs on all the posts. But I also had to get this wedge-shaped angle, length and width and angle, to make a template to lay on my piece of basswood. I used 3/16 of an inch basswood, a big sheet of it, and I just put the template once I had these angles and did a total of 12 bus stops on it. So here again was another picture where I just double checked to make sure the angles were good. It's all the same. And then again, looking straight down to get an idea of this double post system. And then from one picture, I was able to count how many pairs of posts there were all the way down. More of the bus signs here and here. And Joyce and I took a ton of pictures of those. Again, the lighting system and how the roof system works, because that will be a point of contention. And again, just another angle to get some signs. And we took pictures of all these little glass enclosure areas, these seating areas, which are set up like big S's. So you have one seating area facing this way, and then on the opposite side you have a seating area facing the other way. So here is, voila, the finished product. See, I told you there wasn't anything there. So this was the mock-up, and what I did was I started with a piece of basswood, and I got the length, I cut the correct circular width, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 parking areas on this side. Did the same thing on the opposite side. And then I made the glass enclosures, so you could see they make this S. You got this side, and then it sinks in on this side. So these people are sitting here waiting for a bus here. On this side, they're sitting waiting for a bus there. All this was scratch built using plastruck pieces and grills from plastruck, venting stuff. And I just made the seats out of all that. But the controversy is here. These kits, these posts here, came out of a Walters electrical depot kit or something like that. And I said, well, those look like the post I need, and bada bing, bada boom, there they are. And then they hold these beams, which are from plastruck, in place. And then the roofing system is from a Fowler Models ICE3 platform kit, with the exception that if you look, I think it's the next picture I'll show you. Yeah, if you look here, you can see they're curved and not angular. It's still a W, but it curves down, up, but it curves. I sacrificed that little bit of reality for a couple of reasons. Number one, you'll notice that there's opaque sections here. Well, I cut out sections and put clear sections in. But instead of it being all clear, which would have been a lot of work for me to try to do that and get all the ribs right. So instead what I did was I decided I also needed to hide the lighting and the wiring system. This is not lit up yet. I have not put the lighting system in this yet. This was, I finished all the basic stuff, but I still have to put the lighting in. Yes, like a dipstick, I glued people in and all this stuff in before I had installed the lighting. because I planned on using LED light strips and actual pieces of plastic to make those hanging light bits that you see here. You can see one right here. I was going to make those and run the wiring up, but then I realized I had no place to hide the wiring, and I didn't want the wiring showing. It would have taken something away from it. So I had to come up with Plan B. And Plan B, and here again you can just see where I made the signs. These were all from photographs. I printed them up either on photo stock paper, glossy photo paper, and then matte varnish over it, or I printed them up on Avery decals where they just stuck on. But so these are actual Delmenhorst signs, the Delmenhorst bus system, departure announcements, signs you would have seen at the Delmenhorst. All these different signs are accurate to the city of Delmenhorst. So we really went full bore there. This is actually me trying to put the follow car in, but what's important in this picture is not the follow car system going in. It is this. This was how I elected to solve the lighting issue. Instead of light banks, I took some plastruck tubing, cut it in half, and had these half curved tubes, and I ran them full length, not individually every few feet. I ran them full length, and then my lighting system is run in there along with the wiring, so you don't see the wiring. You don't see it on either side. It's painted gray, and you hide the wiring, so nobody sees the wiring. It angles the light inside like it's supposed to be, but no, it's not 100% realistic. But here you can see I made one of the signs. Well, actually I made them all. You can see the signs here, straight off of Delmenhorst. The seating areas and the glass, you could say, oh, well, there's fingerprints, it's smudgy, but go to the Delmenhorst station. The partition glass is very dirty and smudgy, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But by using these opaque sections of canopy instead of trying to make it all clear, yes, it took away from the realism, although technically in 2004, 2005, Delmenhorst had roofing like this and then changed it. They remodeled this in the once in the 2008, 2010 time period, and then again in 2019 to 2020. They remodeled it and went with what you now see in that earlier picture. But this is the other thing. I decided to install these. Now, I originally took this picture just so I could take a picture of these two signs, which announced the bus departures and train departures at the station. Announces what bus is leaving when, and and also trains at the station. I was just going to use those two images out of that picture, cut them out, stick them on a piece of black plastic that I made, and stick them up and say, ta-da, done. But very quickly, I had seen some YouTube videos of guys that had actual computer digital boards that worked. And guys were using them for subways, and they looked really cool. And I ran across this one German site, and one guy was talking to him, and I talked to this guy, and his name's Dale Schultz. He lives in northeastern United States. He was a big shot programmer for IBM, and he does this stuff in his sleep. He says, I can make you a couple of those. He says, I even have a website. And how would you like actual working ones? I said, well, can we get 9 lines of code like these have? He says, no, at that size, to get it where it's true to size, we could probably only do 5 lines of code. And he says, and my system doesn't do the yellow light. He says, mine is the blue light. And I said, okay, well, show me what you got. And he had me go to his webpage and look at all these different signs and billboards and things he makes for people's layouts. And it was fantastic. I said, what the hell? I talked to Joyce. She said, yeah, why not? So I could have an ad. And there was something else I'll show you in a minute that sold us on it. But so originally I was just going to have stickers there and say, look, it's 100%, looks just like it, and just cut these out and glue them on. But instead, we did this. And his company is called Remote Sign. And these are set up as Wi-Fi. And what they do is once you install them, and this was just a mock-up. I just built some quick boxes to get an idea. How would I like it? How would I feel about it? And what you can see here, and I'm going to shrink this down a bit. What you see here, okay, those are actual buses from Delmenhorst. Big deal. You can program those in. I know. Those are times over on the other side. And it's the actual names of the routes. Yeah, anybody can get that, type that in. Yes, you can. You can program them and make it read that with any system. There's nothing special. Except this. That's real. That's real time. His system connects to the internet, and then when you program it and run his system, you have to pay a license to him one time license. It was like $10. He gives you the code, and you access the actual Deutsche Bahn computer traffic system. You pick the station, and it will print out the code, the times of the trains and the buses. So yes, I could have typed that in and made it static. This is real time. It reads real time and changes. That's real time. Those buses are leaving at those times, and it changes because it reads it. There's a Wi-Fi Arduino board underneath that reads the Wi-Fi from the computer. So once you open up his remote sign access panel, just have it running as a little window somewhere. Bam! I have the actual running. So 5 lines instead of 9, but it's telling the actual times and changes. I thought that was too cool to pass up, and so we did it. This was just a mock-up of the boxes. Obviously it was too fat, but I was trying to figure out how I was going to hide. You can see all the wiring that goes to the Wi-Fi boards behind. That's why I needed the opaque. You can see I also did the buses. And yes, there's a company, Rita, that made actual buses for the city of Delmenhorst. So I was able to get my hands on about 6 of them. So like you can see, this is the actual Del Bus 203. And you can see where I had mocked up some black boards and was just going to put the little sticker signs on them. So this was early in the process. Here I'm testing the lighting. So yes, the lighting works. You don't see the wiring. The lights shine down onto the station at the correct angles. It's not 100% accurate. It's not even 85% accurate or 75% accurate. But it is close enough. It sells the idea. Everybody that from Delmenhorst who has commented on my page says, this looks just like it, even though clearly it doesn't look just like it. But everything below the canopy is 100% accurate to Delmenhorst, that you can get away with the roofs. And here it is. I'm sorry, it's the one fuzzy picture I have, but you can see everything lit up. The station in place with the Fowler car system around it for the buses. The train station and platforms lit up, the inside of the station lit up, and the bus center lit up, and with those reader boards going, and it was awesome. This is actually they're just starting to load up the system here in this picture, and this is just different angles showing it all off, and just really was pleased with it. But by going with the opaque sections that I bashed from a Fowler ICE3 train platform canopy, it solved the problem of how to hide all that wiring. So I made 2 sacrifices. Instead of that true angular, it's rounded. It forms a sort of a rounded bird or a rounded W instead of a very angular wedge roof. And instead of being all see-through, it's got these opaque sections in it, but those opaque sections hide all the wiring, for the fairy lights, I used micro fairy lights, which are amazing. I mean, you get 30 feet for $6-7. But again, I made some sacrifices. It's not 100% scratch build. It is more of a kit bash. I'd say it's 50% kit bash, 50% scratch build. And it's not 100% accurate like the train station it is. It's, I don't know what you would call it, because the roof is such a major part of it. My brain says it's 50% accurate, 50% not. But it's close enough. It sells the idea. Sometimes when you're trying to recreate something, you just want to sell the idea enough that people look at it, and if they're not too scrutinizing, they'll go, yeah, it looks just like it. You know, you might go, oh wait, you know, the Delmenhorst one is wedge shaped and more glass than this, and this is more curved. But sometimes you do have to sacrifice a little bit of the actual reality to adjust to the lack of the lighting, the lack of the wiring, because we don't have conduit small enough to, you know, we don't have wiring small enough to fit into scale accurate conduit. The wiring's not scale accurate. So it's not going to be hidden through metal rods that they run between the light systems that nobody notices. The wiring is going to show, it's going to be too thick, it's going to look out of place. And when you have an all glass roof, you can't hide the wiring, because people are going to stand at your table and look down in it and go, oh look, there's all the wiring running through. Well, now they don't see the wiring, including that massive wad of wiring that powers those chips. I did a good job hiding that. So unfortunately, you did not see the step-by-step process. I could only tell you, well, I started with the wood base, got the measurements, took pictures, used a protractor to measure the angle of those wedges in. And as you can still see in this picture here, you know, that picture right there, you know, you cut the wedges for the buses to pull in, and I nailed it. I mean, I got it accurate. They are how they are. That angle is exactly how it should be. The length might be a foot or two off. At 1/87 scale, what is a foot off in truth? It's going to be a millimeter. It's not going to show. So that was a little bit about the bus station. But again, it is meant to look as close as possible to the actual Delmenhorst Bus Center. All right, so until that time, I want to thank you guys for watching. Thanks for supporting the channel. And please, if you're watching this video and you found anything entertaining, just at least like it and hopefully leave a comment. So until then, I'm going to say Auf Wiedersehen, tschüss, and happy trains. Take care, everybody.